Well, at times over the past 6 weeks in this game, I have felt like time has been wasting away. We might not need the mug if we get a good club though, because we won't have to do much time wasting. We've had 6 weeks of next to nothing, but we've finally been offered a job. I'm not sure it's one I want though, but come and join me as I go through a summer job search. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 136 of this head coach story with me, Daniel. We are unemployed after our resignation from Manchester United. They chose a new contract for John Murtow over keeping us happy and rebuilding their club. And after what's happened the rest of the summer there so far, I'm pretty happy I decided to get out because they've lost two more first teamers and gained none. What we've got though today is our first job offer, not one I'm sure I want to accept. But we're going to go through a little job search, see how we get on, and hopefully we'll find something that suits our fancy. So if you're looking forward to the sound of that, a very different type of episode in this head coach story, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. Hopefully we'll be able to find something good. Remember, in this save it's a little bit different. The big clubs in Spain are running out of money and aging. In Italy, there's not really anyone of class. Most of the big players have come to England. And the two we're looking at are Germany and France. Both leagues resurgent, both with better and younger players generally. For Germany, Dortmund and Bayern have been dominating Europe in recent years. And for the others, in France, there's a bit of a renaissance for a few clubs like Metz and Strasbourg. But we've not got to worry about any of those to start. Before we go and have a look at what job offers are about, I'm going to go and show you what's happened to Manchester United, because you might have asked, was it the right decision to leave? No matter how frustrated you were, are you going to get a better opportunity? Well, let's go and take a look at Manchester United. Well, first things first, there's still a vacancy at the moment. We left, 6-7 weeks ago now, so they've not got any quicker at making decisions. However, they've still been doing work with John Murtow, and he can't go blaming a manager this time. Out of the door last week went Laug Hervenhoff, one of the first choice centre-halves, for less than 30 million. He's still in his 20s as well. And if we go back to the end of last year, they also let out, if I get back to the middle of June, Kakada, a player who was crucial off the bench. So they're letting a lot of quality go. And yes, they've got a few coming back from loan at the end of the year, but they're really not in a good position on the pitch and they continue to be a selling club. What we have got for now, though, is a job offer from Brazil. International management, something we've done in this career already with England. We won the Euros. We've got 1 year till a Copa America, which is maybe tempting me into the Brazil job. But realistically, am I going to half my wage to go and work in South America for 1 year and just to manage a tournament? If it had been just before the tournament and it was just to get them through it, then fine. But for a whole year before, with a squad that has got quality but generally is aging as well. A lot of players coming towards the end. Their goalkeeper, El Sayut, we know well from City. Francois at Bournemouth is a superstar. Lima, are the centre-half at United, who's not great, is in their first team. And also Endrick, who's now well in his 30s. So maybe not the best squad in the world. Certainly not a very young one. Only one or two brilliant younger players, including Araujo, who is a right-back at Arsenal. But for me, not quite the right opportunity. Maybe in a fully developed international management in FM, I'd consider it more seriously. But as much as I want to be realistic in this save, I've won a major tournament managing my own country and I still left that role. So to go and then manage somewhere else in a different continent, it does seem a bit off on this occasion. And international management did frustrate me, I can't lie. So we're going to reject that because I feel I've got one more big European club offering me. And I want to see who United appoint, I want to see who Brazil appoint, and I want to see if we get any opportunities. We'll be back as the days go by to see if any pop up. Because at the moment, there's no big jobs available, and that's been the case all summer. We're just 2 days later, and look what job has popped up on the screen now. I bet you can't guess which one I've applied for, can you? The good news is we've been offered an instant job interview by them. Borussia Dortmund is the job, and it's a very interesting one because you'll notice there was no longer a vacancy there for Manchester United. And the reason for that, we go to their manager history, is that Arne Slot has left and he has joined United. He'd been at Bournemouth, he'd been at Ajax, he'd been elsewhere. In fact, he had 2 stints as Bournemouth manager and had been at Aston Villa as well. But here he has gone to Manchester United And it could be a very lovely manager swap going on. Not the first time in our career we've had that. Also interesting to note that there are familiar names at Dortmund too. They have got Leonid Gruznov, who was a former right winger for us at Palace, and they've also got Elijah Smith, who was our first choice goalkeeper for England. No astronomical wages. They've got some really world-class players, and as you can see, bar the goalkeeper, who it doesn't really matter, is 33, virtually all of the other key players in their squad are under 30. Certainly the highest rated, certainly most of the highest paid, are all coming towards or in the prime of their career. So for a 2 or 3 year stint to finish off this save, it could be the perfect club. They finished second in the Bundesliga last year, which is now, as you can see, the second best league in Europe behind the Premier League. They're also 4 years without a title as Bayern have resumed their dominance, and we want to get it back for Borussia Dortmund. 2 titles 8 years apart, 4 years without one now. Can we wrestle back control in a couple of years at Dortmund? Well, we've got to get through the interview first, haven't we? Let's go and attend it, see how we get on. We're delighted we've been given a chance to get down to business. Can we ease concerns that we've never managed in this country? Well, of course we can. My experience in international football makes up for that. Can you tell us why you managing a number of clubs as you have done is a good thing? Well, one, we've had a very long career, but I am ready to settle down for the long term. I'm not going to have another club job after this unless I get sacked very early. So I think this is going to be one where we can afford a promise. Why have you felt that it's acceptable to apply for a number of jobs whilst employed? I mean, when's the last time I did that? I haven't applied for any while I was at United, I don't think. Maybe one. I don't think I applied for any club jobs while I was at Palace. I only went for the England one because it was the chance to manage my country. I'll say I admit I lack professionalism, but I don't agree with that. It's an exception rather than a rule. The usual stuff about a lacking dressing room mentality. I mean, when is the last time I had real problems with a dressing room? Over a decade ago, maybe? Director of football, Sebastian Kell. Not the best stats for judgment, but gets things done by the looks of it and a very professional personality. So, based on the squad he's built at Dortmund, I've got no reason to doubt him over a John Murtow. I don't need to make any changes to the staffing. What do you want to do? You want to be best of the rest this year, challenge for the title the second year, and then maintain or win the title third and fourth year. Right, that's fair enough. I've got no problem with that. Like to bring in young players, like to sign youngsters for the first team. The philosophy has not changed at Borussia Dortmund. That sounds exciting to me. I'm happy to get Champions League qualification. Just takes the pressure off the first year. Oh, look at that. It will be the biggest transfer budget we have ever had in this career. And this is the difference about a club that isn't loaded with debt. 133 million transfer budget. We've not had that at any stage with United. We're happy with that. Or a wage budget of 3.915 million. Sounds absolutely beautiful. Let's get that done. No other request to propose. Please give me that job. It looks like a club that's financially stable, in a great position on the pitch as well. This is a job I want. It looks like the perfect final club for my career. Now cross your fingers. We'll be back in a minute. Let's hope it's not bad news. Now, in a real confidence boost, but with a bizarre bit of news as well, we have been offered the Dortmund job just 4 days later, and it will be a job swap with Arne Slot. What I don't quite understand is why we've only been offered 24 grand a week to get back to work, because this is a massive club, a massive job, and a team with huge budgets. I don't get why they're offering me a minimal wage. I mean, thankfully, we're not at a stage of our career where we need to worry too much about that, because we've earned millions and millions and millions, but I am going to try and work it up a little bit. Let's have a look, though, at what they want to achieve. I don't think anything else has changed. Latter stages of the Cup is fine. Latter stages of the Champions League, we now know means quarterfinals. And I think the rest of it is pretty much the same. So the only thing I'm going to do is try and work my wage up to something a bit more respectable. And I'm going to start at £30,000 because I think that's the minimum I should be getting paid here. I don't really understand why it's so low. Maybe they've had lower profile managers before. But we are going to keep our foot on. We're going to push the boat out. And eventually they have worked up to agree with us. It means the final club of our career will be Borussia Dortmund. It is a club and a job I'm very excited about. And after working at United and getting some trophies, we've now got a chance to work for a well-oiled machine. A club that is all pulling in the right direction. Let's go and get into our first day and meet the players we've inherited in this job swap. I am a very excited man as we are unveiled as the Borussia Dortmund manager. We've got a great career record so far, and we replace Arne Slot, who has taken our old job. We got Premier League Manager of the Year winner in 2038. We've got 3 trophies in 2 seasons with a club that is a bit of a wrecking ball off the pitch. And now, I'm not sure we prefer to use 4-4-2. We've got a chance to really win things. Hopefully this director of football won't turn into John. There's no suggestion of it in the past, but it is a massive club. 4.5-star reputation, predicted second behind Bayern in the media prediction. Is arguably a bit of a 2-horse race here at the moment, albeit Hoffenheim have been right up there as well. So there have been a couple of clubs competing. 80,000 seater with the big yellow wall. State-of-the-art facilities across the board, something else United didn't have. A massive transfer budget, bigger than we've ever had before. And a big wage budget too. We know the director of football already. The assistant manager, João Fonseca, is, well, good in the key areas. His tactical knowledge is exquisite. Let's have a look at what we've got in the squad. We'll go and meet all the players in a minute, but we know 2 of the names and there are some other very good ones too. Next, we've got all the objectives, which we know are pretty good. Nothing too harsh that we should fail in there. The fans want to finish above Leipzig and Schalke, no problem with that. Let's go and get into the first day at the job. We'll go through all the other negotiations and other stuff in a minute, but at the moment, it looks like we have got a good supporter base, good season expectations, which are completely fair, and a tactical direction we'll decide in a minute. We're going to do the usual stuff on our opening day, look at the development centre, look at the staffing, and look at the first team squad. Let's start with the bit you guys will probably be least interested in, which is the staffing, but the bit I always maintain is the most important. Of course, remember, if you are new along here, this is a head coach story. We have no say in transfers, contracts or staffing. We can't change any of it ourselves. We're reliant on the director of football. And that's why it's so important we see what we've already got. The big money earner here is the head of youth development, Marvin Geiger. I was going to say he should be pretty good at his role at Dortmund. He's better than pretty good. He is one of the best you'll ever see. Exceptional head of youth development. Very good personality as well. We should be getting some gems through that academy. Assistant manager we've met, director of football we've met, the under-19 manager is pretty good as well, a Dane, Mike Tallberg, and then further down we've got goalkeeping coaches who are very good, Marcus Miller, very good as well. Senior fitness coaches are Shad Forsyth from the USA, who's got a perfect coaching attribute, Wrangler's not far off that as well. And then let's get down to the senior coaches, only one, so might need to be added to there, albeit very good coach mentally, very experienced too. And a very good goalkeeping coach also. Down to the physios, the head physio is perfect. That's what we want to see. So apart from a couple of the coaches going with Arne Slot, it looks like they've left a very good carcass behind. We've got a very good chief scout as well. We've got some other scouts at the club, just seeing if there's any recognisable names, because you quite often get them in FM. Just run through a few, look at the attributes, looks pretty good. Wow, that one's pretty impressive. Schubert, very good. Carlin, okay, not so good, but more knowledge elsewhere. Benjamin Frank, exceptional. Miguel Moreira, very good. Simon Fana, pretty good. Seigber, pretty good. And in Terzic, very good. And Bastian Schulz, the final one, he's very good as well. It's just about adding a couple of coaches, isn't it? Arne Slot has clearly taken some with him, and hopefully those voids will be filled. Stefan Lichtsteiner's there as well. He's the under-19 assistant manager. Let's go and have a look at the development centre though. Any gems potentially ready for the first team? Anton Pashkov has got 5-star potential. Probably wants to be loaned out at the minute and looks like he might be, but he is a good player for the future. They've got Adrian Aslani, who again looks pretty good. Maybe one for the future rather than now, but we need him for the squad. We could do far worse, I'm sure. A young English goalkeeper, Adam Smith, who looks pretty good as a backup. What else have we got in there? Any real talent, any current ability or massive potential? That's what we're looking for. The under-19s, not at the minute, if we're being honest. And in the B team, yeah, there's a few with massive potential. No more with big current ability, but we've got Hans-Peter Sutter, who at 18 doesn't look like he's going to set the world alight, but apparently has a massive ceiling. And then we've also looked at Pashkov, who's got big potential as well. But let's get to the one you all want to see, the senior first team squad. Let's get through these and see just how good they are. Now, it looks like there's only one goalkeeper at the club with another who's gone out on loan. He's not as good as that Adam Smith we just looked at though. So looks like the two Smiths are our goalkeepers this year. Elijah is first choice and he is exceptional. We've worked with him with England. We know how good he is. He is going to be our number one for the season. No doubt about that. And great to have a familiar face in goal. At right back, we've got two options. Dorian Orbert is a 29-year-old Italian. Never been capped for them and doesn't look like an exceptional player, but looks rock solid. He looks like your Gary Neville of the United team as an equivalent. Good defensively. Doesn't set the world alight doing much else, but mentally exceptional. Physically very solid. I mean, he just looks like a good solid right back to have. Can't complain about him. The other option is a younger one. Bennett Steinke is 2.5-star ability at 22 years of age. And he's your one who at the moment is not quite as good mentally, not quite as good defensively, but has probably got a bigger ceiling. And to be fair, as a young player who looks like he's come through the Dortmund academy, okay, maybe he was nicked from Mainz after a year, but he's homegrown at the club now and he's a very good pro. I'm happy with those two as my right backs, no doubt about that. Let's move over to the left where we've got one of the club superstars, Turn van der Plum. He is a 4-star ability left back. Bloody hell, he's good, isn't he? 20 for natural fitness, 17 passing, defensively excellent, good crosser, good mentally, good physically. He is elite. He is a Dutch international. He is a superstar. Wow, we have not had a fullback that good at United at any point, let alone now. Worth 200 million quid and should be here for the long haul with 3 years on his contract. The other option is a 20-year-old Fabian Hellman. He is, let's have a look at him. Oh, he might be going. He's got a work permit to go elsewhere. It is an English club though. Is it Man United? Let's have a look. Oh, he might fail his work permit. We'll see. He's a wonder kid. He's got massive potential. If you look at the first choice left back and the fact that that's 60 million quid for someone who physically isn't exceptional and isn't a finished article, I kind of understand it. I wouldn't be wanting to lose him, but then I've just seen he's not an academy player, so it maybe is a bit of an easier decision. We'll see if that work permit goes through, but could be good funds for the transfer window. 4 centre-half options. We'll start with the oldest. Marlon Lapo is a 3-star ability defender at 32. He is very good. Still got his physicals intact. He's a South African. Very good mentally again. Physically, he's got the key attributes. Technically, he's all right. And he's got great positioning, which is one of my favourites. So, no problem with that. He has been here for 10 years. The other one at 3-star is Kevin Merville. He is 27 years of age. He's a Chilean international. And he looks exceptional. The natural left-right balance. Very determined. Great in the air. Very good physically. Very good technically. The positioning's great again. And he can cover left or right back. The other centre-half option, again, a little bit younger. 20-year-old Enis Hakşiraj. He is 2.5-star ability, Albanian international. Technically not great, a bit aggressive, but officially a wonder kid. Can also play right back. He's great in the air. And again, a very solid squad option. So no complaints yet again. Let's move into midfield because there seems to be about 20 holding midfielders here. Let's find out which of them are best. We've got 33-year-old Noel Nikili. He is a deep line playmaker. He's a very good one as well. Can play holding mid or centre mid, can cover centre half. He has 3-star ability, came from United and has been here 10 years. Maybe is coming towards the end of his time now with just 1 year left on his contract. But again, one of those very solid pros in the squad. I've got no bother with him at all. Next one is Nelson Gaeta. He is 27 years of age, Chilean again, and he's actually a centre half, which might suit us better. I was wondering we only have 3 back there. He's our 4th centre half. He's our first choice backup. Very solid, good mentally again. Seems to be a key thing with this director of football. Real strong characters that can perform on a big occasion. Good mentally and physically. Solid technically. Great positioning again. It's like my dream defence this. They're all great positionally. The third holding midfielder listed is Jeffrey Joaquin. He is 3-star ability and he is very good. Oh my. French international, 24 caps. Very solid in that holding role. Can cover right back, centre half or centre mid. I mean, mentally, we've got the official mentality monsters here, haven't we? And he is a very good defensive mid. Might make the choice of tactic quite interesting though. Ruben Almeida is 2.5-star. He's got 2 years left on his deal. He's a fringe player. He is apparently wanted by Palace and United, 2 of our former clubs. He's an okay solid squad player. Again, mentally very good and good physically and naturally fit. If we need him, I'll be very happy to call upon him. Next is Kelvin Santos, who is one of the younger options at 21. Very good on the ball, some key mental stats, he's a good playmaker type. We might have to play with holding midfielders here because we got so many good ones. Looks like he's emerging despite a pretty average personality. Positioning's great again. I mean, I'm very happy with them, but there's a lot of samey players so far in this midfield. We've got Joaquin, who's that proper ball winner. And then I guess maybe it's just good squad planning because Nkili's 33, Santos is 21, and he's probably there ready to take over. So maybe we should be giving them praise as a club, the way they're preparing things. Looking at the future again, there's a 19-year-old in Axel Johansson. He's 2.5-star ability already. Oh yes, I quite like this one. A Swedish international, driven, only a fringe player at the minute, but with potential. Again, look at that determination. Look at the natural fitness. Good on the ball again. Another one for the future. Very happy with that. Next up, we have got Leonid Gruznov, a right midfielder. Now 31 years of age, a very solid winger. We know him very well. No doubt he is going to be a star in the immediate future of this club. And he's played here now, 7 years as a fairly first team regular. Very good player, good leader. I mean, he's got the lot. Physically, still very strong as well. Let's move on to Javier Olazola. He is a 2.5-star ability left midfielder. Okay, maybe not the best player in the world. Certainly not someone I'm excited about. But if we've got a better left winger at the club, he's a very solid backup, which is the most you could ask for at this stage. So let's hope there's a better one. And if so, we've got a very good backup there. Next up is Fuad Cardon, 32-year-old winger. In fact, he's a centre mid and attacking mid. And again, it's another one of those who's good on the ball. Physically, very good for an older player. Determination, professionalism, he's got the lot. And he's pretty good technically as well. He actually came through the Dortmund Academy. He's been here since 2022. So he would have been in their first ever youth intake. And 16 years later, he's still at the club. Very happy with him. Great to see youngsters behind ready to take over. But for now, he'll be an important part of this team. I'm looking at him and thinking maybe two of the holding midfielders and him could be the solution unless there's another one. And that might be the problem because I can see what's coming. First though, Nana Koomson is a 4-star right winger. He can play centre mid or out wide. He is pretty good. 2-footed, elite attacking midfielder, only 26 years of age from the Netherlands. He's got the determination again, but he's also got the ball carrying skills, the physicality, the vision. Oh wow, he is exceptional. Maybe doesn't naturally suit the type of roles I would normally use in a team, but we'll make use of him. Don't you worry about that. He is a proper gem. Next up is the problem, because we've already found 3 centre midfielders we want to start, and I've now got a 4.5-star ability player coming up, officially the best at the club. Let's hope he can play off the left really well, because if so, it might complete a brilliant team. His name is Abdul Karim Sniper. He is 4.5-star ability. He can't play off the wing, but will you please stop a minute and look at this guy's attributes, because he is one of the best players I've ever seen. His vision, his passing. I mean, he reminds me of a prime Iniesta here. Maybe physically better though. He's also 6'3". He's also great in the air. I mean, that is going to be the best player we've managed in this career by a long way. He is superb. This is a different level. I think it's safe to say he'll be starting, isn't it? Will it be as a striker or as a number 10? We'll find the answer when we've seen the rest of them. Because they are Fabian Hornerg. He is a 21-year-old with 2-star ability. Solid backup player. Decent one for the future. But yeah, probably not going to be involved much straight away. Have we got another left-sider though? Luis Canales is the main man. He is 4-star ability up front. 30 years of age. Are you a striker or are you a lefty? You're a proper striker. 20 composure. I do like the sound of that. Scoring a goal every game and a half for both club and for country. Has played in the Premier League for Chelsea. Maybe not elite level finishing, but everything else is there. This is turning into a proper dream of a squad. The last two, are they good enough backups? We've got Marcel Kraus potentially leaving. I'm not sure if he'll still be at the club long term though, because there are some offers in for him at the moment. Very good footballer though. And then Alessandro Mugne is the final one. 21 years of age. We finish off with a player that's got big potential, great finisher, and also a model citizen. This is a squad that in terms of mentality and in terms of quality has been built brilliantly. And bar perhaps missing a left-sided midfielder, I think we might have the perfect balance to the squad as well. It's the only thing I can see that's possibly missing, but then Fuad Cardon can play out there. So for now, we've got a solution if we need it. That squad is really exciting me. There's 4 or 5 genuine world-class players, and there's a few others that could well fill in. We've got virtually 2 in every position. We've got young players ready to step up where experienced ones are there. I mean, I just like this a balanced squad. You don't often get that with a director of football, do you? I'm very excited about the future at Dortmund. I feel like I've got my vigour back after leaving United. Let's hope it's not shattered by our new director of football. We will be back not for the first round of the Cup, but for our first Bundesliga game against Stuttgart. Excitement in the air. A lot of excitement to come this season. I'm so happy with that squad. We've got some of the best players we've ever managed. And I think we're seeing now what a good job we did with United, because this Dortmund side in many places is on a very different level. If you enjoyed meeting them, seeing our summer job search, and look forward to what we've got in store at Dortmund, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM23 content from 2 long-term stories. We'll be back with the Builder Nation tomorrow before our first game in Germany as Borussia Dortmund manager in 2 days' time. I hope you're looking forward to that, but in the meantime, all the key links you need are up in the eye above or description below. If you're new along, welcome to the channel. We're going to have a lot of fun at this club.